Story on Patience, Lee Sin and the Peach Tree. Lee Sin was very fond of peaches. They were one of his most favorite foods. Every day he would bring a peach with him to school and eat it during his lunch break. He enjoyed every bite, but he always threw away the pit with the seed inside. One day Lee Sin's class was learning about seeds. This gave Lee Sin an idea. He would plant a seed from his peach and help it grow into a tree. At lunchtime, he saved the pit from his peach and wrapped it in a piece of paper. When school ended, he raced home and asked his father to help him find a place to start growing his tree. His father reminded him that he would have to wait for the pit to dry before he could get the seed out. Still, Lee Sin wanted to plant the pit right away.
"Lee Sin," said his father, "if you don't have the patience to dry the pit, how will you have the patience to wait for the seed to sprout?"
So Lee Sin set the pit out to dry. A few days later, Lee Sin was finally able to crack the pit and pull out the seed. His mother showed him a corner of the yard where the tree could grow big and tall. He dug a small hole and dropped in the seed, then covered it with a mound of moist earth. He grinned with excitement. His tree was finally on its way. Every day Lee Sin would visit the mound, hoping to see some sign that the seed had sprouted, but no seed appeared. For weeks, and Lee Sin grew disheartened. Seeing Lee Sin's concern, his mother asked him what was wrong. "My seed is not growing," Lee Sin said. "I wonder if I will ever have a tree." "Well," said his mother, "this seed has a lot of growing to do. In that way it was very much like you. When you were born, you were just a tiny little thing, and all you did was eat and sleep. And now look at you. You're a young boy, walking, talking, and thinking for yourself. This tree may take many years to grow, but if you care for it well, then someday you will be able to sit in its shade and enjoy its fruit." Sin grew hopeful again. He knew from his class that a seed had to grow through many changes before it could even become a sprout. Then one spring day, Lee Sin went to visit the mound as he always did, and to his great excitement he saw a tiny green sprout. His tree was growing. He ran to his neighbor who was a farmer and told her the exciting news. She gave him advice on how to take care for the tree while it was so young and vulnerable, and he listened to her every word, eager to nurture it as best as he could. "Soon I will have many peaches to give you as thanks for your good advice," said Lee Sin. But the neighbor just smiled. "Lee Sin, do you remember how you had to be patient while you waited for the pit to dry?" Lee Sin nodded. "And do you remember how you needed even more patience while you waited for your seed to sprout?" Lee Sin remembered this too. "Well," said the neighbor, "it will take even longer before your sapling becomes a tree, and sometime after that before it gives fruit. It could be years before the tree is ready to peaches for you to enjoy." And so Lee Sin cared for the tree and tended to its needs as it grew from a sprout to a sapling, and from a sapling to a tree. Little by little it grew taller and broader, just as he did. And one day Lee Sin returned from school. He saw the tree's first peaches. Once again he felt the joy that filled his heart when he had the seed that was first sprouted. And once again he knew that he would have to exercise patience, for it would be some time still before the peaches would be ready to eat.